All right, guys, I know you're waiting to hear what the most underrated back exercise is. In my opinion, it is going to be the drumroll weighted pull-up, guys. Now, the reason why I say the weighted pull-up is because most people look at the pull-up as a beginner exercise. You know, once they start to move into the gym, they discover other machines, all the other stuff that can help to also develop your back. The push-up kind of gets pushed to the side. Now, the weighted pull-up, of course, most people when they first get into, you know, bodybuilding, fitness, or, you know, just general strength training, the pull-up is seen as one of those, you know, entry-level exercises. However, I'm going to say this: do not ever underestimate the pull-up. Do not ever think that it's a beginner exercise. Most people, which I believe, cannot do a good set of 10 pull-ups. Now, if you can't do a good set of 10 pull-ups, you have no space or no say to say that the pull-up is a beginner exercise. Let's be honest. The sun was getting a little bit too hot over there, but as I was saying, I believe the average person, or the average man, let me just read it, the average man cannot do more than 3 pull-ups. Can you imagine 3 pull-ups? Now, for me, I think it's less than that, because I believe that the way they've conducted that sort of study or whatever they've done doesn't count for a proper pull-up. So that's full range of motion all the way down, all the way up, no half reps. We don't count half reps around here. We want that full range of motion. So for me, I believe that number is probably less, because the areas and the spaces that I've been, most guys can't do 1 pull-up with good form. You know, they're doing, you know, they will start up here, but then they just come in here. We ain't counting that. That don't count. Sorry, unfortunately not. So the reason why I say the weighted pull-up is because, firstly, if you can do 10 pull-ups with your body weight, or even 8, let's just go 8. Let's stay in that rep range between 4 and 8. Let's just say that rep range. If you can do 8 full body rep pull-ups with good form, good tempo, you know, you're making sure that your chin is clearing the bar, all the other stuff, you are strong. Don't let anybody, you know, underestimate your strength with that. Don't let anyone try to downplay how strong you are. You have a good level of strength, especially if you can do it for 3 sets, 4 sets, however many sets. Just being able to do that already sets you apart from the rest of the pack. Now that you're adding weight, external weight to your body, now you're pulling your body weight, and then plus then some, you're going to take yourself to a different planet, my friend. So first, let's discuss what your pull-up should look like before we get into the weighted section. So most people, when they're starting off, they're going to have to start with a little bit of a narrower grip, or maybe even a supinated grip. So that's when your palms are facing toward you. That's fine. Whichever grip you want to develop, focus on that one. Make sure that you, you know, progress in that grip. However, if you really want to grow that back, we want to get some width in our back and some size, we want to go with a nice wide grip out here, guys. And again, the form has to be solid, has to be clean, guys. There's no jerking motion, there's no swinging up, all the other stuff. It's a straight up and sort of diagonal motion up, guys. So once we can get 10 clean reps of that, 8 clean reps of that, then we can start to think about adding weight. And the way we're going to add weight is with our good old friend, the dip belt. Now, if you've got a weighted vest, good for you, use that as well. But the reason why I like using the dip belt is because it's very easy to progress. So with a weighted vest, sometimes the weight on the weighted vest is not interchangeable. You know, the weighted vest is what it is. So if it weighs 10 kilos, it weighs 10 kilos, you know, all that other stuff. But if you've got weight plates and a dip belt, you can progress this exercise very easily, guys. So when we get into weighted pull-ups, you ain't got to start with nothing crazy. You ain't got to do 2 20-kilo plates for, no. You grab a 5 kg, right? You attach it like so. So let's say you was doing 8 reps, 8 good quality reps just with your body weight. Now you've added a 5, we say, okay, the minimum we're going to go for is about, let's say 6. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know that we can do 6 reps with 5 kg. So let's say a month or so passes, we move up to 10 kg. So we get 6 with 10 kg. Sorry, no. we get 8 reps with the 5 kg. We can then move into 10 kg. So we start doing that. And obviously, guys, we can gradually progress further and further over time. So it does allow us to give us that natural progression. So when we start to get stronger and stronger, we can say, okay, we're at 20 kg now. Every time we go up in weight, the reps are going to decrease. However, the form, we cannot sacrifice our form just to go up in weight. So we don't suddenly start swinging up and, you know, doing half reps. The form must always be essential, guys. You know, on the last ones where we're struggling, it may break down a little bit, but it's still a relative good standard. So let's say we get to 20 kg now, and we're like, all right, let's see, we want to improve. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say 4 is all you got. 4 is fine, guys. So for the next couple weeks or even months, we stick with the 20 kg, and the goal is to get more than 4, guys. Every time we go in, we say, okay, we need to get 4. So let's say we're working on a 2 set basis. Let's say we go with our first set, 20 kg, we get just 4. Now, it may be a little bit of a waste of time if you do another set with 20 kg and you can only get 1 or 2. So you might have to go back down to 15 kilos. Then that way you can still get the 4 reps or the 5 reps, however many reps with the 15 kilos. However, you're still going to get that stimulation because the intensity is still there. So that gives you now the option to be honest with yourself. If you know you can get 4 reps with 20 kg twice, do that. If you know that the second set you ain't gonna get nowhere near the 4 or the 5 or whatever you're doing, lower the weight, keep the form, the intensity will still be there, and then as time progresses, naturally you'll be able to do the working weight, whatever you were doing for multiple sets, and then you progress again. And one thing we want to, you know, make sure that when we are doing the weighted pull-up, we're making sure that the lats are working, guys. So essentially we want to make sure that we are pulling with our lats. So for me, what I like to do is kind of come in like a backwards motion a little bit, just like that, so I can feel that engagement in my lats when I kind of just come forward rather than keep myself hunched forward. It's like just a slight lean back, and then as I pull, I know my lats are involved, and I know as well that, so let me just show you with some weight. It's kind of easier to explain when I got the weight vest on, that I'm kind of pulling my chest to the bar rather than my chin. Now your chin may not, sorry, your chest may not touch the bar, but it's just getting that movement pattern down that is gonna help to engage the lats a bit more. So let's just pretend that we really want to get our chest to the bar. It's there, guys. Do you know what I mean? And if you do want to come up and bring your chin over at the end of the movement, that's fine, but the main focus here is that the lats are involved, they're doing the work. So like that at the end, you could think, but pulling to your chest is naturally going to help you to similar to a lat pull down, guys. So that brings me to my next point. If you don't have a pull-up bar, or you know, you can't do pull-ups or anything like that, something is impeding you from doing weighted pull-ups, then obviously your next best bet is going to be a lat pull down. Now for me, if I had all the equipment at my disposal, I would do pull-ups and lat pull downs, but right now I don't have a lat pull down, so I'm just going to focus on doing the weighted pull-ups. But again, with a lat pull down, naturally you're supposed to put yourself in that position where you're almost trying to pull to your chest, which again is going to get the lats involved. So essentially, guys, the weighted pull-up is going to put some nice width on your back. Now you are going to have to do some rowing motions for the thickness in your back, but when we're trying to focus on the lats, we're trying to build those up, trying to get those nice and thick and strong, weighted pull-ups is going to be the way to go. You have to progress them. Progressive overload is the way forward. Remember, we're not sacrificing form to add more weight. We want to make sure the form is clean every single time. Once we can honestly say to ourselves, okay, you know what, this weight is becoming a little bit too easy, then we progress. Doesn't have to be a big jump. You can add a 2.5, 1 kilo, 0.5, anything like that, but we just want to make sure that the progression is there with good form, guys. And that's probably all you're going to need, to be honest, to grow a decent set of lats. I saw my back increase exponentially when I started doing things like weighted pull-ups. Now if you don't have weights, guess what, you can grab a brick, add it to the weight belt, no excuses. I did it. You can go back and see some of my videos on my TikTok, on my Instagram, all the other stuff. I used to have one kettlebell and a brick and just do those for reps with a weighted pull-up. I think it roughly equaled about 20 something kg. So there's no excuse really. You could either get a backpack, fill it with books, attach it to your dip belt, or you can put a backpack on your back, still do weighted pull-up, guys. Very accessible movement. If you don't have a pull-up bar, you can find a branch, something, anything that you can hang off to do some pull-ups, guys. Even I think there's a towel method that you can put over the door. Go look that up yourself. But there is no excuse why you shouldn't be able to do weighted pull-ups. Build a nice, strong, aesthetic back, guys, at the end of the day. So the choice is yours whether you want to make the decision to do those, but that is the option for you guys. I do believe it is an underrated exercise. Again, a lot of people move from it because it is calisthenics. They don't really think about progressing the movement once, because pull-ups is body weight, so they think the next step is the lat pull down. But you can't sleep on weighted pull-ups at the end of the day. But I hope you enjoyed watching. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, all that good stuff, and I catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.